Hi guys. Um, I'm currently in Dallas right now. We have a Leo full moon tomorrow. I booked a room and I'm kind of like excited to be in my own space this weekend away from the dogs and like my sister and just kind of be here and be present in everything that I'm feeling right now because this moon is very much so taking away anything that you've been resistant to. And sometimes that just means like taking away other people's energy so you can really tune into your own. And that is a message that Spirit has been very much like trying to get like fixed signs, especially, but other signs to understand. If you aren't going to do it, Spirit has to do it for you. And so, what's interesting is I'm here for like a flexibility workshop. If y'all don't know, I'm like right now practicing contortion and flexibility. I've been doing it for like about 6 months now. So I'm here for that, and I really forgot about the dates and kind of was like disoriented about it, and still somehow God made a way for me to be here. Um, I don't even know what this is. This moon is going to be squaring Uranus, and Mars and Venus are also making a dramatic square as well. What this means for you. The moon being in Leo is already going to invoke some sort of drama. I like don't even like using that word. I'm a Leo sun and rising. So I don't like using that word. But when Leo has to or is being taken away, I'm sorry, let me chill. When Leo is being forcefully taken away from something that they are not ready to let go, they are kicking and screaming, okay? It's drama. Squared or paired with Uranus, it's going to bring traumatic, dramatic, quick, surprising change. And this ultimately is a duo that is like kicking and screaming out the door like I want my mommy. Like it's like I'm kicking and screaming, I deserve this. I want this. The air literally just kicked on and I'm like, were you trying to cool me down? Like am I being too hot right now? And so that just like is a very permanent message right now. It's like whatever is trying to leave your life, let it go. Because spirit is actually really ready to gift you something brand new. And that is why this moon is either going to go very smoothly for some or it's going to be very hard and hectic and bring a lot of heartbreak for others. Because remember, Leo is all about the heart. But a lot of times, Leo struggles with leading with their heart because they, like Libra, okay, and a couple other signs, are people pleasers. And so they want to please their partner, they want to please their mother or their father. They want to please authority figures. They want to please their boss. And they're willing to step outside of what they're happy with to do that sometimes. Because Leo also really represents, and Taurus being, or Uranus being in Taurus also represents stability. So your stability may be kicked up this weekend. What you think you're comfortable with because you haven't yet tried another path. Um, that is going to be coming up to be stirred. Are you truly about what you say you're about? Are you truly ready to step into this abundant path that you have been crying about since you were a child? Like, are you going to start that band? Is what I just heard. Are you going to start singing? Are you going to start your podcast? You've been talking about it for 2 years now. Where are the mics? Turn the mic on. I can't hear you. The topics aren't being told because it's not coming from you. And now it's funny because it's like spirit is like showing me like someone's like, well, I could have said that better. Like someone gave a lecture or someone was on the podcast and they were talking and you were like, whoa, my perspective is different on this topic and I would love to share it. Spirit's saying, then why haven't you gotten on the platform to share what you have studied? This is now your time. And I know for like my Leo risings, and even Leo moons, maybe some Leo suns, you've obviously felt a lot of restriction because Saturn has been in Aquarius, and that is an opposition to your sun, your rising, or your moon. And so that has caused a little bit of restriction or limitations around sharing your gifts with the world. However, now is not the time to be in fear. Now is the time to be in faith. And this is where it gets crazy, y'all. So was like, was watching a TikTok once, and it was of a church called Upper Room. And you may have heard of it. And they said, like, in the video, like, give us a minute for spirit to enter the room. And in that moment, I felt this wave of presence over my body. And I started getting chills because I literally felt spirit's energy. 555 just passed. So I was like, I'm in Dallas. I'm gonna go to Upper Room because if I felt that over the video, I can only imagine what I feel when I'm in the presence in this room. And so I went there tonight. And I was like so back and forth about it because I've been up since 4 a.m. I literally drove from Austin this rising, got here at 9 a.m. and did my workshop for 2 hours, and then waited to check into my room and finally checked in. But then I was like, go to church, go to church. But it just was nagging me. And I was like, I haven't been to church in like, I have not been to church in maybe like 3 years. Maybe longer. And I'm sitting in church, and I was trying to I was like knitting while listening. And you guys, this has never happened while I'm knitting. And all of a sudden, my knit pattern gets fucked up. It completely like starts to ravel up, and it just like I have to take it into the store tomorrow to get help with it because I have no idea how to even fix what happened. Um, but basically, it's split. And so I was like, I can't do this right now. Like, I need to focus on the word. Like, it was spirit saying, you can't be doing this while listening to this right now. And so I need you to put this shit away and pay attention to the word. And so I put my knitting supplies away, and I sit back. And finally, this is when the pastor actually starts getting into the word. Like during this time, he was like saying announcements, inviting people up to do testimonies, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, y'all. I'm only here for the day, so I just didn't want to pay attention to that part. But he starts to talk about Corinthians chapter 11. I think it was like verse 20 through 27 or 28. And he's talking about how in the Bible it says basically like you eat the blood and the bread um, because you are worthy. Okay, I wrote these notes down. But yet you judge yourself. But if you judge yourself, you are judgment, basically. Like I'm paraphrasing. This is not exactly what it says in the Bible, but read those verses. Um, he talked a lot about worth and like coming to sit at a table and not feeling worthy enough to delve into the bread and the blood. And God is like, that is only your thoughts that you are bringing to this table. That is not true because I believe you are worthy. I know you are worthy. But if you don't believe that, then you are therefore in judgment of yourself, which is a sin. Okay? And I'm like not really into the religion shit. Okay? I'm going to be honest, I'm not. But I am into God. And I know that God works and speaks to me through biblical text a lot, as well as songs and whatever. And I have been wondering because right now I'm like kind of in an awkward position with my company. Like it just has not been doing good. I know we're coming up on it. Like we're gonna come up back up, after we went through a fall. But also like I started this like little part-time gig, and I don't get paid as consistently. Like I do, but sometimes it's like a day late or something, right? And so like sometimes I get stressed out because I'm like, okay, well I kind of needed this, especially this weekend I'm going out of town, and the money didn't hit today, and so I was kind of like, okay, like, I'm out of town. I really don't got it like that right now. I'm blessed. I'm favored, but I stress out a lot about money, something I'm working through. And the pastor literally said, this is when I tuned in. He literally said, like, who cares if your bank account, if you don't have enough in your bank account right now, you're still worthy. And so I was like, okay. And then basically, like, I don't need to judge myself because of what I look like or what I don't have or what I do have. What I need to do is continue to show up. And through consistency and discipline, you basically decide your judgment, you know? If you judge yourself, you are judgment. Okay. In the Bible, it did say many are weak, sick, and a number are asleep. And that is like that message in itself is saying, like, you fall asleep when you self deprecate. You fall asleep when you self hate. You fall asleep when you don't do things you say you're going to do. Okay. You get weaker when you do that. You do get me? Your mindset gets weaker when you don't follow through with what you said you were going to do. So this energy that we're in right now is really the test. You're in the test right now. This isn't this is go time, because next season when we move into March, the true energetic new year, everything is going to come at once. And spirit is going to say, when all these opportunities come, if you know yourself well enough, you will choose the right option that is on the path for you. But if not, you're going to do another cycle of bullshit until you are ready to step into your truth. You don't realize that you weaken yourself when you don't believe in yourself, okay? Um put your blood on the door, okay? Put your like your heart in it, because your heart speaks louder than your voice does. And a lot of times you get so confused that people won't like your heart. So you try to shelter it and keep it safe. But your heart is your truth. And if you are not putting that for like the world to see, they're running into a facade. And then you wonder why you have these people around you that you can't trust. And you wonder why you're back in a relationship with someone who didn't treat you right to begin with. And you wonder why you keep getting caught up in these cycles that take you away from your honest, truest self. And this is your energy right now. The energy is about building yourself back up through committing, through the daily bread, through the daily blood, through the daily follow through. And you may have moments of, I just need to rest, I'm not feeling good. But it's about how can you at least add a 1% back into your day, back into your purpose, back into the momentum of what needs to get going so you can be stronger. That way you, like, it's like when you get sick and your body now is knowing this virus, it's knowing what's in you, it's knowing what has become of this sickness, and now it can fight it off. You know, like that is what antibodies do. It protects you. That's why you need bacteria in your body, so your body can say, ooh, this is interesting, but I understand it, let me rework some things. Okay, awesome, let's fight it off, let's kick it out of our system now. I understand how it works, so now I can break it apart. And so right now is preparation, baby. Like, and I know we talk about preparation a lot. I don't know if I've talked about it specifically on my YouTube, but I know we talk about it. And preparation is always here for when the time comes, you are ready. You have the files open and your portfolio is done because you've been doing the work. You know what I mean? So preparation is like, that is how you build strength. That is how you get stronger. It's funny, I'm at a flexibility and strengthening workshop, and we were talking about it. It's just a little bit needs to be done every day. Just a little bit. 5 minutes of stretching and some strengthening exercises. You don't have to go all out. You don't have to burn out. You just have to add a little bit of value. So that message came in so strong, and I was really sitting there like, I was like texting my sister and like kind of being like annoying, like, girl, I'm about to leave in 5 minutes. And what's funny is they started breaking bread and communing, and I don't do that. I mean, I think it's kind of strange. Like, I'm like, did Jesus want us to drink his blood? So I get kind of like, I just didn't do it today. And plus, I'm like a huge health weirdo, and I'm just like, is this even real bread? Like, is this the styrofoam shit? Like what's in it? You know? So I just be like, but I just thought that was really interesting, and I just thought like It's really beautiful how much we activate when we give ourselves the chance to. You know? Like, just because shit doesn't look good doesn't mean God's not going to make it great. And that's what faith is all about. And I think that's like what ultimately leads us to the promised land, is knowing that it's going to get better, knowing that it's going to change, and that what you're doing, it's working. I want you to listen to the song It's Working by Bishop William Murphy. He talks about how in this season, this is your season for faith, for grace, for favor. This is your season to reap what I have sown. You're reaping the benefits of grace, of favor, of belief. You know? And that kind of power is what uplifts you. And if you're uplifted, everyone around you is going to be uplifted. They can feel the energy that is radiating out of you when you are truly building yourself up to be better, to be great. And you're not going to be great overnight. It's not about being better tomorrow. It's about knowing that it's coming. It's working. What you are doing is working. The pastor used a great analogy today. He said, I got sick and went to the doctor, and the doctor's one of my really good friends, and he gave me these antibodies, and he said, take this for 10 days. And he said, I ended up saying, okay, whatever. I took it for like 4 days. I started to feel better, and I just stopped taking them. And then by day 6, I was feeling sick again. And so then by day 8, he said, I started taking them again, and it didn't work. I had to go back to the doctor and go get the antibodies and start over. You are already being given the opportunity to get better. Every single day is an opportunity to win. So if something is feeling or making you feel like you're failing, you got to keep going, and you got to keep striving for greatness and betterness and hope. Hope is what keeps the world alive, okay? So that was just a powerful message. Oh my god, I have more downloads. Okay. Someone from your past who you very much loved and has probably been on your mind for like years. Like, you've done cord cuttings, you can't get them off your mind. You are struggling so hard to just get these people out of your head. It's almost like they're talking to you when you're driving, when you're sleeping, when you are just trying to, be here now. Um, it's like a distraction, almost like they're trying to pull you back. And this is because someone that feels bad, they literally feel bad about how they treated you, and so they're trying to connect with you energetically to pull you back into their energy, because they want you to take the guilt that they feel for treating you wrong. This is only for a specific group, but basically they're pulling on your energy, so you will come back and say, hey, I just want to apologize again. Like, you've already said it, sorry. You've already done your apologies, but this person has never once taken accountability. But they are trying to use you in order to feel better about how they treated you. So be prepared. If you're hearing this and you're feeling this, be prepared. I feel like this person is going to make a little pop-up appearance. I'm also seeing that this is coming through songs and numbers. But someone's going to make a pop-up appearance. So be ready. Be ready for that energy. And when they do come, baby, tell them to keep the same energy on the streets. For me, I'm like, you can't say that to my face. You literally cannot say that to my face, but you gotta, send it through a song. It's embarrassing. You're embarrassing yourself. But I'm not going to be embarrassed about you anymore. So what I'm doing is I'm making a way for myself to find peace around the situation by accepting that this is just a hole in me that will be with me forever because you were a part of me at once, and I'm setting that free. I don't have to fix what broke within that relationship anymore. I just have to be me and be present and be happy with who I am and know that I'm taken care of by the Most High always. That's the message, okay? And if they come back, baby, don't be afraid to say, like, I'm good on you. Like, I genuinely don't want to have this conversation, or I genuinely wish you the best. And I hope that you find freedom from how you're feeling, but I will no longer take responsibility over your guilt or your shame. Okay? That's it on that. Um, Another download that came through was some of you are really like you're like doing better with self talk, and you're doing like way. I just want to say like way better. Cahoots, proud of you, right? Um, you're doing so good with just like managing your emotions and managing the way that you talk to yourself. And I feel like around Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe of this past week, you kind of had a slip. Like you were thinking like, oh my god, my life is just a mess. Like, am I doing things right? Like, you kind of were like going back and regressing into the thought patterns of, I'm not enough because my external looks this way. Okay, coming back to the first message. However, you had to, and a lot of you are doing this now, you're kicking it back to God and saying, hey, God, can you take this nervous energy or this anxious energy off my heart now? Because I know that this is no longer my story. And you watched how that energy replenished. For others of you, you kind of have been sitting in this energy of the in between, and you're like, I do trust you, but like I still have my fears. And this is like your reassurance message. Like it's okay to fear. You're human, right? But also remember two just passed. Remember to collect like that fear and like feed it with love. Okay? I understand why you're scared, but God's got us. Like, okay, like I understand. I'm gonna like hold you and show compassion, but I'm also like letting you know, like, you've never gone without a meal, okay? You've never gone without support from God. You've always had that, and sometimes we just need to lean in and just talk to God about how we're feeling instead of letting our mind do the talking for us. So that came in pretty quickly and pretty intensely for the collective. Know that your fears are not your way of being. They're just a thought pattern. And when you tell your thought patterns like that was cute, baby, that was cute. Okay, let's get back to work now. You ultimately, I don't want to say take control, but you ultimately surrender back to the divine because it's not on you. The divine's got you. And when we can just sit back and say, okay, God, I'm going to see how you work this one out for me because I know you love me so much. God does that. And yeah, things work out. Like, for instance, tonight I was like a little bit nervous because I was like, oh, the whoop whoop didn't hit, and then the bookie book hit. Okay, so it's like it works, you know. Um. So yeah. Ooh. One more thing. I just wanted to talk about this is like I want y'all to stop begging for people to like you, and I want y'all to stop begging for people to be your friends. External validation is a disease. Okay. And we're all guilty of it because we're all human. However, it's up to us to check ourselves. Am I doing this for attention? Am I avoiding being alone right now? I'm going to hang out with them because I feel like I can't be alone. Damn, I ate that too fast. I was trying to savor it. You know, so like Spirit's being very serious about this. Like, just because you're on social media doesn't mean that you have to post every single day. It doesn't mean that you have to prove yourself every day to people that you don't even know. Being on social media, one, is a privilege, but it's also an opportunity to share your unique self with the world. And if you are posting something that is not unique to yourself, that's because you're posting it for likes or validation. So a lot of you are going to be experiencing a change in the way that your audience sees you. And a lot of you are going to be facing that judgment from spirit. And I'm not saying in a harsh way or whatever, but you're gonna feel spirit almost kicking you off social media because spirit's like, bitch hasn't taken a day off in how long? And now I need to get on your ass because you're feeling low self worth because you're constantly on here posting about shit that doesn't have anything to do with you. It has nothing to do with what you like. It has nothing to do with what you're studying. It has nothing to do with how you're improving or being of service to this world. And so I'm over watching you do this shit because it's annoying. That's what Spirit's saying. So some of you are about to get the boot when it comes to social. I mean, a lot of us are all getting the boot. Just because I feel like Spirit is, we're about to go through this blackout, baby. Some of us are already experiencing power outages. But things are going to happen where social media is going to get shut down anyways. But the point is, it's like, it's getting to that point where Spirit is like, I'm going to shut it down because you're not taking enough accountability and stepping away from it. So Spirit is saying, like, do your due diligence. Know when you're doing too much of something and know when to fucking just sit back and wait. Your business isn't doing good because you're just out here just blasting everybody all the time. You know, like, give people time to breathe. You know, like, we just came off the holiday season. This is a time of rest. Stop trying to sell something right now and maybe go back and improve the product. That was from Spirit, not even me. All right, let's get some cards going. I feel some major healing happening right now for the collective. And like, I think it's in a really beautiful way. I think that there's a lot of compassion that's like working through us. I think there's a lot of like self-reflection that's happening, but also a lot of like, I'm like over being this way. Like, I'm done being neurotic. I'm done overthinking. I'm done putting myself in these situations. And like, kudos to all of you who are doing that work because, I mean, I'm gonna say kudos to me, because it's not easy. And ultimately, when we're like in a space of like having to really reconcile with our past, it can be very grueling and very intense on the heart. And so I also just feel like this Leo full moon is really saying, like, I want you to know that your heart is worthy of love and it's worthy of support and it's worthy of change. And you don't ever have to stay longer past the deadline. You know, you never have to stay in anything. And this is ultimately you really showing yourself true love, okay? Walking away, flame of truth, the flew out. I didn't even pray, but I'm gonna take this card because it was like I saw it in the deck and then it literally flew out. And so to me, like, this is just showing you like it's time to step into your truth. Like, your truth is the only thing that should matter in your world right now. And if you can't be your true self, we need to get rid of that job. We need to get rid of that relationship. We need to get rid of those friends. We need to just do something that alters your ability from like alters you. I don't want to use the word alters, but like, I want to shift you from being fake, from being the fake version of you to being the true version of you. You don't have to, you know, get your lips injected anymore, honey. You need to chill, okay? The 3 size is too big. That's for somebody. And I know you don't even want to. You're just doing it. You can't even afford it, Lord. That's not your truth. Live your truth by having your normal lip size. A lot of you like don't even like the augmentations that you've done to yourself, and you're like trying to act like you do, and it's causing you pain internally. You don't feel connected to yourself. You feel like you don't look like yourself. Like, if you feel that way, make the change. Go back to your truth, okay? Your truth is your home, and that home is the flame that can burn the way for your new path by you sharing your testimony. Because a lot of you done got this motherfucking BBL and shit, and you can't even sit down. without discomfort. Um, Father God, Mother Earth, Mother God. Thank you so much for igniting the flame within me tonight and allowing me to be a vessel and an acting work for you. Thank you for allowing me to speak clearly through you, and for this collective that I read for. I ask that you come through in this message and that you share it with every heart that needs it in directness, with full detail, with full understanding, with full compassion for this collective, and know that they are not wrong. They are learning, they are growing, and they are evolving, and through that, they are getting closer to you, Lord. And I just pray that you bring me closer to you through learning what they're going through, shifting into compassion for them, in connecting with them, and knowing them through you, because through you I know love, and through them I see love, and I'm able to connect with them through that one space, that heart space that you've given me. And I just am so grateful to be a vessel for you, Spirit. And I just honor everybody who's on this video and who needs this message and who's feeling the fire of this Leo full moon and who's ready for a change. I feel you too, and I'm just so excited that we have this time together in this video and that I'm able to be a working voice for you. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Damn, I feel the fire, okay? Truth is a flame in the darkness, waiting to be seen in its gentle glow. No matter how much darkness surrounds it, it will never go out. In fact, the depth of the void makes it increasingly stronger. Truth does not scream and shout to be seen, it just is, and it can never be erased. The flame of truth comes to you now to illuminate a truth in your life being kept hidden. If you feel a truth is being concealed from you, you are supported now to trust your instinct to seek the flame in the darkness. The flame seeks you to give it justice and bring it out. Remember to not lose your grounding while seeking its soft glow in the dark, which may mean losing focus due to other details or your own ego and emotions. The flame exists inside of you already. If you are concealing a truth, you are being called to bring it out once and for all. This could be a lie you have told, something you are hiding, or even suppressing your own voice and expression. Okay, we talked about that in the beginning of this video. Get out of your head, get back into your heart, and start making moves. I'm telling you, like, Spirit is, like, looking to reward you right now for doing it. Like, don't hold back. I know it's scary. It's very scary to walk in your truth, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And, like, the more you're like, I'm a shit. Like, I've literally been feeling that way lately. I'm like, I have nothing to hide. I have nothing to, like, fear. Like, today, even earlier, like, I was kind of, like, nervous, put my hands out. Like, I was like, but then I just did. And I was like, you know what? Let me actually, okay? Because this song's a bop. And I'm in it, okay? So it's like, just do what you feel called to do. And maybe it changes tomorrow. But at least you did it today, you know? Like, just do it. Go after it. Try it. Don't be so fearful of, stepping into a new room, because that room may have your new best friend who's been waiting for you, who's been praying about you, who's been wanting to know you from afar. So trust your instinct. If you feel called to go to the coffee shop and romanticize your life, if you feel called to take your dog to that new dog park that just opened, to to go check it out, have a beer, have a coffee, and, go meet some people, you might find your husband there, okay? Like, there are, like, some very beautiful new beginnings happening by you being in service to yourself, okay? Because you've avoided yourself for so long. And Spirit's like, nope, I need you. I need foolproof you right now. I need to show you everything that I have for you so you know that you're worthy of it. Moon manifestations came out next, and then guardians watching over you. I'm telling you guys, write it down this moon. What are you finally letting go, like, that you've resisted? Maybe it's just like you were hanging out with, all these annoying ass girls from high school, and you've outgrown them, but a part of you has been like, well, I've known them for so long, like, why would I just leave? Like, they didn't do anything wrong. It doesn't have to be something that's done wrong. It's just a knowing, like, oh, we're just not on the same, like, vibration anymore, and I can walk away from this with love and grace. Love you. If you need anything ever, please feel free to call. I'm sure, if I have the time, I'll pick up. But also, like, this just doesn't resonate with me anymore, and I don't want to subject my energy to something that's draining when I could be living la vida loca, okay? So write it down. and feel free to release it. If you feel called to, in the comments, write one of like what you're releasing this moon, you know? Like I'm releasing my attitude. I'm releasing my fears around love. I'm releasing my fear of my mother. I'm releasing my fear of my father. You know, like I'm extending gratitude to myself. I'm extending gratitude to my body. I'm going to move more. Like what are you doing this moon that's going to change that's gonna illuminate the path, okay? Guardians watching over you is very obvious. Like, hello, your ancestors are very loud. Your ancestors have been here. Your ancestors have been supporting you. Talk to them. Tell them what you need. We like get so like this is another thing with external validation. We start like going to our friends like, do you think I should go here? Do you think I should date him longer? Do you think I should break up with him? Do you think I should do this? Ask your heart what you're feeling. Like this just isn't working for me, or this does, and this makes me happy, and this doesn't, and I need to make a change. Otherwise, I'm the one that's suffering. It's not them. It's never them. Baby, it's always about you. So I really want this moon. Y'all should light a candle. Drink some rose tea. Take a rose bath. Um, Add some chamomile in that bitch. Drink some cacao. That's some good heart medicine. And just like get in touch with yourself this moon. I think it's just really about like, you know, Aquarius dissociating and coming back into the space that is home. And I that's the heart. That's the moon, you know, like Aquarius and Leo, they're a very beautiful partnership. They're a very beautiful energy together because what one does for self, it ultimately powers the other to do for its community. And so, by you ultimately feeding your spirit, you are feeding the spirits of everyone around you, including your ancestors, right? The ones that you can't see, but you're feeding the ones around you because that energy is now radiating. Okay, Leo is Sun, and Aquarius is like Saturn, or Uranus, but it ultimately, like that sun energy wants to share what you've learned on the journey, okay? Like Saturn, it brings you lessons, but ultimately you get to bring those lessons into reality and share and teach what you've learned, and that helps everyone. That helps your family, right? Like that helps your relationships, both platonic and romantic, and that ultimately helps you. And that's why we're here. We're here to help each other. We're here to build community and we're here to grow. And if you're not doing that, why the fuck are you here? Just kidding. Kind of. But yeah, I feel really called to continue to pull. And I don't know if my phone is gonna say like, oh, storage or anything, but born from a lotus, okay? Some of you have been walking a very intense and tough line. Um, you've had a lot of relationships leave, especially with that Saturn being in Aquarius, Leo rising. I'm talking to you. Aquarius, um, Aquarius rising, I'm talking to you as well. You've had a little bit of a switch in identity, and you've kind of had to awaken and reinitiate yourself into the birth that you are, through the death that you've lived. And what I mean by that is like it's okay to feel hurt and to cry and to feel pain about what you've been through, but ultimately you must understand that what you have been through is a birth of something new. And so you have to go through the experience to truly meet yourself, because if you didn't, you would just be like, "Oh, life is a breeze, right?" And then you would just take it for granted. And that's like what spirit ultimately tries to teach us is like we're not here to just like go through the motions. Like we're actually here to birth and rebirth and rebirth and rebirth and rebirth until we meet our truth, until we meet the eternal, and recognize that we are that. We are that of the soul. And so, cry, breathe, you know, be, understand that you are human, but you are also not just the vessel, you are the spirit, and the spirit must be seen through experience, okay? I don't want to go too deep in that one, but if you're in the thick of it all, I just want you to know you're coming out of it and something beautiful is on the other side of it. And spirit is saying like, baby, you did it. Like thank you. Like I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for just shutting the fuck up and sitting down and doing the work. That's all I've needed of you. You know, that's what spirit is saying right now. And I'm just like, I want to cry for myself because I really have been doing the work. Like the other day, this is another download. I should have said this. I like was watching this movie, and like back in the day I started like writing this screenplay, and my boyfriend was like, the name is terrible and you'll never write it, and like just like was feeding me all this doubt and like terrible feelings, right? And so I was like, okay, well, I'll just never be a screenwriter, right? And I like watched this show called Chloe on Amazon Prime, and the show was like pretty good. Like I loved the writing. I thought like the clothes were really cool. The coloring was beautiful. The creative shots were just amazing, and I just had not seen a show like that had all of those parts in a long time. It was only 6 episodes, and I'm like, damn, like I'm in it, you know. Um, and like upon finishing the show, I felt this like huge, overwhelming like feeling of like you need to go back and look up the screenplay that you started writing, and you need to like do this. You need to do this for you. And I was like feeling so overwhelmed, and like spirit was like, it doesn't need to get done. Like there's no deadline. Like just do it. And when it's finished and you did it, you know? And I was like, oh my God, you're right. Like I really don't have to do anything but do what I do. And ultimately, what I was even writing about was never about the person I was writing about. It was about me embodying my truth. And so Spirit wasn't ready for me to write it then because it wouldn't have been my true story. Now I've lived. Like I have lived. I can tell you guys stories that are just like, what the fuck? But like now I'm like, oh, this whole time the story was writing itself. And that's why I couldn't bring myself to even write it then because I needed to experience life to be able to bring the experience to paper. Um, and so within that, I'm like laying down and I'm feeling all this gratitude for having that realization, and I'm like getting excited about being a creator again. And I feel my heart kind of just pinch, and I see an image of my dad, and I have this like inner child replay, like a memory from my childhood came up, and I was like, damn, I've been so angry at my dad for this whole time for like treating my mom like shit, even though he stayed. But then I was like, wait, he stayed. And my heart was just like, he stayed. He could have left so many times, but he stayed. And he stayed because he wanted to do right by his family. And I think that that was just like, oh my God. Like, I haven't even been mad at him. Like, I forgave him, but it was like another layer that needed to be met and understood and felt. And so I had just like started writing it in my notes, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to text him. I'm going to say thank you. And I said, thank you for staying. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for doing what you could do. You know, thank you, Dad. He's like, where's this coming from? And I'm like, my heart? Like what? Like it doesn't have to come from anywhere, right? But like this is what my heart feels right now. And so I'm telling you this because I don't want you to get sick tomorrow and die soon, right? And then you never heard from your children's mouth that you are loved. Because at the end of the day, it's never our job to judge. It's our job to love, okay? And a part of being love is loving thyself and loving thy vessel and supporting it, but also supporting the vessels who birthed you through them. Remember that. Okay. I feel like I'm gonna pull like one more card from Sacred Rebels because I just really, really love this, and I haven't pulled cards in like a week now. Um, and it's not that I don't enjoy it, but I've just been like so busy with new beginnings, um, which I will be sharing soon. But I just want to get back to pulling cards again and doing readings for my fam because I miss y'all. And this is one of my favorite things to do in this world. They're brand new, and so I really can't shuffle these. Spirit, is there any messages from Sacred Rebels that you have for us? What is this Leo full moon bringing for my collective? Okay, this like really wants to pop out. Restore and replenish. 38. Okay, that's 11. I've been seeing 11 everywhere. I'm not going to reduce it down to 2 because 11 is a master number. And, like, this is giving peacock vibes. Like, birth, rebirth, fertility. Like, she's in the womb right now, about to be rebirthed. We're in a very, like, womb-like energy. Um, and, like, look at all the seashells on this. It's like, reminding me of, like, that, like, Pisces energy. Like, we're just at the edge, you know, right where the wisdom is restored. I feel like Pisces season is really going to be about wisdom being restored and like finally like It's like truly the end of a cycle. It's the 12th sign in the zodiac. We're gonna start like Saturn's moving into Pisces. Like we're gonna start to really feel a new sense of self being reborn, and it's kind of gonna feel like a haze almost because then like the birth happens in Aries season, but ultimately like we are being prepared. Like we're moving into our final birth month. Like we're rubbing the belly. We're finishing up these last cravings. We're enjoying the last like part of our lives right now, so we can really get ready for like what's to come next, because it's not gonna look the same. Nothing is gonna be the same in March. Like things are really gonna change. I'm seeing. Sorry, I just drilled. I'm seeing people relocate, like moving, families coming back together, like getting close with your loved ones, like really getting back into the heart of community. But that can't happen yet until we do the last fucking like take. We gotta do the last run. We gotta like sit and really feel restored enough to go back out into the world and give our full, honest, loving selves. Some of y'all aren't there yet. Some of y'all are still got some hate in your heart, and you gotta work through that. And remember, ultimately, it's never about them, it's about you, and it's about what you tolerated and what you put yourself through. And ultimately, forgiving yourself so you can now forgive them, because you are what matters. You are what levels up. They don't come with you. You come with you. So if you're angry, if you're upset, you need to release it. Otherwise, you're chaining yourself to the ground. And you're saying, "Well, I don't want to go up. I don't want to ascend." And Spirit's saying, "Hey, if you lead here, you're already lifted. You're already elevated. You don't have to do any work. You just have to be here with me. I'll do the rest." So restore and replenish. This feels like very strong card right now. Very, 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 very strong energy right here. Restore and replenish. And right under it, that flew out with it, was faith in the process. Okay, I can't make this shit up, you guys. It's so honest. Look at the bird on her back. Like, just trust. You're about to take off. You're about to fly. But if you don't have faith in what's to come, what's the point? You have to really maintain that sense of self and that sense of belief, because that belief is what ultimately gives you the wings to fly. Wow. Yep, faith down there. How did we start this reading? The energy of this reading is faith. The theme of this reading is faith. You will have your partner, okay? Your partner is coming. Some of you are leaving partnerships, but I'm telling you, within 3 months, you will have a new one, and one that's going to love you way better than the one that you have now. But you got to be ready. You got to be ready to release anything. Anything at any moment, because nothing is permanent, but what is your truth. Hold on to that. Hold on to the faith and watch yourself be reborn. Okay? I'm going to leave it there. We're at 48 minutes. I love you all, and I wish you the best and happiest full moon. You are so deserving of what's to come, but you have to trust and believe and know that you are you. I love you. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening and morning, or whenever you're watching this. Have some tea while you're doing it. And yeah, let's vibe.